How to never get put in the friend zone ever again. That is the topic for today's video, and I'm very excited because this video is going to have a lot of value for you guys, but it's also going to be easy to understand. It's also going to be simple and to the point. So I don't want to delay it at all. Let's just get right into the video. So to start it off, what is the friend zone actually? Well, the friend zone is this sort of limbo, if you will. It's this sort of area where you don't really know what's going on, and you're in this position where you like her romantically and she likes you platonically. Now you got to understand this is very important that it's romantic and platonic because it's not a real friendship. A lot of guys will tell me and they'll cope and they'll say, Joel, I can't ask this girl out because what if I ruin our friendship? And I always tell them, you're not friends. Friends don't secretly like each other. Let me give you an example. Let's say every time me and you interact, it's cool, you think it's great, but secretly I hate you and I hate your guts, but I just fake around you. Would you say that we're friends? Would you say, oh yeah, dude, me and Joel are cool? No, we're not actually cool. If you found that out, you would realize, well, this guy was never my friend. He was pretending. And that's exactly what you're doing when you're in the friend zone. You are pretending. Now, I'm not saying it's sinister. I'm not saying it's vicious. You're not doing something wrong, but you're not really friends because you like her romantically. Friends are platonic. But the reason why you are in the friend zone is because you think she'll change her mind. This is the delusion that a lot of us had or have. We think she's going to change her mind, but that's not going to happen, and we're going to get into that. So how do you actually end up in the friend zone? Well, there's two main ways that guys end up in the friend zone. And the first reason that a guy will end up in the friend zone is because he's too afraid to ask her out. It's that simple. You don't ask her out. And if you don't ask her out, you're basically de facto in the friend zone because now you're living this pretendship that I told you about earlier. You're pretending just to be friends. You're pretending that you guys have a platonic relationship where you actually don't. And the sad part about this is that this entire idea or this entire way that you're in this friend zone is you're hoping that attraction will magically develop later. And it doesn't happen. I'm gonna break the news to you guys right now. It doesn't happen, but this is what you're hoping for. You're hoping for this scenario where you like her and you don't know if she likes you, but if you keep talking to her, you keep flirting with her, you keep spending time with her, she's gonna eventually ask you out or confess her feelings to you because you're too afraid to ask her out. And you gotta ask yourself something. Why would she do that? You're the guy, that's your responsibility. I firmly believe it's the guy's responsibility to ask the girl out. Why would she approach you, or not approach you, but like confess her feelings to you if you guys are already talking? Like, let's say in a perfect scenario, you both liked each other. She's waiting for you to make the move, but you're too afraid, so you're hoping that you can just eventually mutually come to it or get her to make the first move, and it's just a bad thing. You don't do it. Just don't do it. Now, what's the second way guys end up in the friend zone? Well, this is the way when you actually do what you're supposed to do as a man. You ask her out. Now, I know that's surprising. You ask her out and you end up in the friend zone. And trust me, I've done this myself. You ask her out and she says, I only see you as a friend, okay? She says, you know what? You're cool. We've been talking for months or maybe even years at this point, but I just don't see you that way. I like Jake. I like Ryan, It is what it is. But you keep talking to her anyways. And I've been there. I've done that. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but this is just such a sad position to be in as a man, and you don't have to be in this position, but this position is derived purely from delusion. Like, this position that you end up in is when you tell yourself, well, she doesn't like me. She knows that I like her. We've been already talking. We have a good friendship or whatever you want to call it, and she does not want to take that next step. But maybe if I talk to her for another 2 months, she'll change her mind. We've already been talking for 6 months, but if I keep talking to her for another 3 months, she might change her mind. And it's pure delusion. It's not going to happen. She's not going to change her mind. But this is just when you're too afraid to walk away. When you're too afraid to walk away, you basically built up the courage to ask her out, and then she said no, but you don't have the courage to leave. So it's very sad. You don't want this to happen to you. But like I said, I've experienced this myself. Now, what is my experience with this? So I'll tell you guys a story, okay? So I stayed for the friend zone in almost a year in high school. Yes, a full year in high school. Now, here's what happened, okay? There was this girl in one of my classes, and towards the end of the semester, we started hitting it off a little bit. We started talking, flirting with each other, whatever, right? Boom, winter break happens. I actually hit her up over the break. Now, I was trying to be slick. I was trying to be cool. I, sent her a meme that was, stupid. She was like, oh, was this an accident? And I was like, oh, yeah, I said this to the wrong person. Anyways, how has your break been? And we started talking and texting and FaceTiming from there. And I thought I was the man, right? I was like, bro, I'm so slick, but I was afraid to ask her out. So I was in the friend zone In the first way for a while, right? I was afraid to ask her out. I didn't want to face rejection, but then I finally built up the courage to ask her out. And once I actually asked her out, she told me she didn't like me. She told me, "Hey, you're cool, you're a great guy, but I don't view you that way. I'm not like, romantically interested in you." Even though we were flirting, and this is something that you guys got to understand too. All because a girl is flirting with you doesn't mean she wants to date you. And I basically kept talking to her. Like, I think I may have not talked to her for like a couple of days or a couple of weeks because I was like salty. I was mad. But then I kept talking to her and I was in my head telling myself, well, maybe I can convince her. Like, maybe if I just keep FaceTiming her or keep texting her, she'll eventually like me. Even though she told me that she was attracted to other guys or like she liked other guys, I was completely delusional. And it was sad. I kept hoping things would change, but they never did. And this is why I'm making this video, because I want to tell you guys that you don't need to put yourself into that position. Like, there's a great saying I heard one time, and it's you only learn from experience, either your own experience or somebody else's experience. And I'm telling you guys right now, learn from my experience. If the girl doesn't like you, if she tells you she doesn't like you, 99 times out of 100, she's not going to change her mind. So the final question is, how do we avoid this? How do we avoid the friend zone? Now, we already know what the friend zone is. We know the two types of friend zone, and we even know my own personal story with the friend zone. So the very first most important thing, which it sounds obvious, but just listen up, you got to ask her out. That is the number one most important thing. I don't want to hear your coat, bro. I don't want to hear, but Joel, we're coworkers. Coworkers date all the time. Just make sure if you're in a corporate environment with HR, it's okay. But for most people with most jobs, especially young guys, bro, coworkers date all the time. I don't want to hear about your fake friendship or you're pretending to be platonic because it's not actually a friendship, bro. You can ask her out, right? The second most important thing, you have to move on if she says no. You do not want to end up like me, and you don't want to keep talking to the chick even if she says no, because this is the worst of the two friend zones to be in. Like, at least with the first one, you're kind of in this ignorance is bliss type of state, You're like, oh, well, I don't know if she likes me. I don't know if she does. If she tells you that she doesn't like you, and then you just go like, well, maybe she'll end up liking me later if I keep trying, bro, it's terrible. You're just ruining your life. Like, I did that for months, and it was probably some of the worst feelings I ever had in my life. Like, I felt terrible every single day. I was anxious. I'm like sitting there waiting for her to text me back because I'm like trying to get her to like me when she already doesn't like me, but then I'm mad at her for not liking me. Like, it's just stupid. And then the third most important thing, but definitely do not sleep on this. Do not become delusional, right? Don't sit there and convince yourself it's going to work because it's not going to work. Yes, there might be a 1% or a 0.1% chance she ends up liking you, but 99 times out of 100, it's not going to work. I don't care that your uncle, asked out his wife 10 times before she said yes. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to happen to you. Just don't rely on it. Now, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, just give it a like, comment down if you want me to talk about any other things, and I have some other videos in the pipeline. I'm trying out this new style. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's better than just the talking head videos, but with that being said, I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, peace out.